We are recording the thingamajigger. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here we go now. Here we go now.
Oh my gosh, we did it.
We did it.
I mean,
I believe I am recording.
hold on, let me make sure I'm on the good microphone. My nose, dude. I'm like just clogged up like you wouldn't believe. How are
My
you?
my daughter caught like 105-degree fever last night. We got her on the Tylenol, Motrin, uh, back and forth out of nowhere, and she honestly is acting kind of normal. She's like, "I don't feel good," but then she's like her cute little self.
Oh, that's awesome. Heck
Yeah,
yeah. So she's not dying.
trooper, small little thing.
Oh yeah, dude. All right, let me set this thing up a little better here.
Where
Okay,
do
good
we find
stuff.
ourselves? Nice French doors.
Yeah, you like this?
Yeah, this is wonderful. A little NorCal regional, a little throwback 214.
Wait for it. You ready? This is my favorite thing I have in here. I bet you
Oh,
weren't expecting that.
my favorite part about this right here is this is my shared room, and my table is a
Nice.
massage table. So
Nice, but great background. I like it.
yeah, this is I cannot claim this as my own. My um Stoic Restoration, they got this stuff from wherever, and it's faux, but he's done a really good job with it.
I thought it was real, man. I really
Yeah,
looks real. I'm not. Yeah.
yeah, I should. This is just a background. This is all CG.
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah, he did a really good job with it. I'm very proud of him. We put
I
these.
love your hat,
Yes, the so C4 Foundation. Yeah, the good people. Shout out to those.
dude. That's awesome. I wanted to make some shirts. We use at our gym. We use like send it, pacer, threshold, grind, or heavy day as words to correlate to stimuluses of the workouts.
Oh, I love
And
it.
our we have like symbols for each one too. And our send it or our like sprint one is that. It's a
Yeah,
skull like
yeah.
shotgun going like send it, bro.
Yeah, the Bone Shaka, they're out of the C4 Foundation. I'm forgetting the man who uh they do it for, but shout out to these guys. Great hat, and they give me all like the Go Ruck vibes. They give me those sort of like tactical sort of things, and being a undertrained surfer, if I can't get on the water, I just rep the swag.
Hey, that's cool. Did you say under school or under cool?
Under trained, under cool. I
Under
just
cool. I like
Yeah,
that.
I'm not cool enough. I'm under cool.
I
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. Full dad vibes.
Oh my gosh, man. So hey, last week, is this our plan to do it on Zoom and
Yeah,
then
so not a perfect plan, but this is our plan in general. This though we haven't taught. Hey, Brian, Wes, for the welcome to the third space.
oh my
We're
gosh, we're gonna do that.
Yeah, we are learning how to do this. So if you are catching this up, because I plan on just putting things out into the internet to show you that if you have something to say, you can just do the thing and learn on the fly. You don't have to have a perfect plan. You just have to do. And you will watch over the course of maybe months or years, we will get better at this. But we can always come back to these first ones and remind us for all the things that are bother us about our experience on a podcast platform later, that we were just a bunch of dumb knuckleheads to start, just like everybody else, I'm sure. So
I'm happy that we're doing this because that's my big problem is I come up with these amazing ideas and then they just sit there and I don't do them because it's not good enough yet. It's not perfect enough. It's not ready to launch. It's not, I got to do a little more. So I'm so happy that we're just doing this and that we were just like, nope, we're not going to make it fancy. We're just going to do it, make it work. And hopefully, though, just like CrossFitters, we can make it 1% better every time we step into the podcast studio. So that's
right.
the goal.
So that's where we're at right now, everybody. Thank you for maybe jumping onto this early as an early adopter for me, Brian, and young Wes right here. Last week, the floor is yours. Last
Oh
week,
my gosh, man.
yeah.
Yeah, so last week was a fun conversation about the stop pop. I thought that was amazing. And this week we want to talk to you guys about like some tips and tricks that maybe both of us have kind of found over the years that kind of help us, I guess, hack this affiliate owner lifestyle that we have, I guess you could say. So, all right, the first tip that I have for any affiliate owner out there is find a routine. Find a routine with, and I'm going to go deeper into it. I'm going to make it even more specific because that's very broad. Find a routine. Great. Find a routine within these three things: you're working out, you're waking, and you're sleeping. That's it. If you can wake up, go to sleep, and exercise at the same time every day, I think that your overall like stress levels will come down. You'll start feeling a lot better. You'll notice that body fat will probably start coming off because overall your body will be in a natural rhythm throughout the day. And then let the chaos come in between those things. But set aside these 3 moments for yourself. When you wake up in the morning, what do you need to have the best morning that you've ever had in your life? Is it time alone? Is it time with the family? Is it making breakfast for everybody? Or is it doing yoga? Is it walking outside and seeing the sunrise? Or is it waking up a little bit later? But try to curate the best start to your day ever. And then obviously fix that within the context of what your life allows. So if it allows an hour in the morning to do that, wow, good for you. But if you get 5 minutes even to sit there and just go, while you smell a cup of coffee and you listen to the birds chirp outside, and that's your morning, that's your time. And then you have that same thing at night right before you go to bed, and then you exercise at the same time every day. You'll find these little moments in the morning to set up your day, in the middle of the day to kind of get the energy back and keep you going again, and at the end of the night to wind yourself down and to put yourself into a parasympathetic nervous state so that you could go to sleep.
Ooh, a little
My first tip for
little
you affiliate owners.
serotonin, a little serotonin, if you will. All right, so coach, I got questions.
Yes.
What if I have to coach the morning class and the evening class, open and close, and then open again? What
Oh,
what would be your suggestions for the affiliate owner who is the catch-all?
yeah, great. I've been here before. I just did it last week, actually, where I coached the morning class. And then actually the last 2 weeks, I have coached the 5:30 a.m., the 7 a.m., the 8:30 a.m., the 10, the noon. And then I came back and I coached our 7 p.m. barbell club. So from 7 to 8 p.m., I was here. And then from 8 to 9 p.m., I was cleaning the gym, closing it up. And I came right back the next morning at 5 a.m. and opened back up. So here's what you need to do. That nighttime ritual better be legit a ritual, and it needs to be muscle memory for you to the point where everything is just automatic. So let me talk you through what I do and how I'm able to get my ass in bed and wake up with getting about 6 to 4 hours of sleep in there. And that's kind of what it ends up coming down to by the time we eat dinner, we get the kids to bed, and I'm usually running home when that's all kind of happening already. So shout out to Meg, my wife, my beautiful, amazing love of my life, the soulmate.
Shout out, Gabby.
Yeah, raised my 2 amazing kids and allows me to be at the gym late while she is also a school teacher and has been around kids all day. So the last thing I'm sure she wants is to be around more kids, putting them down while they're freaking out. And she does that for me so that when I get home, my job is everything else. What is everything else that needs to get done that my wife isn't doing right now in order to help her and help us as a family feel like we are helping each other in this thing? Not to come home and to be the selfish, oh, I got to get myself ready, I got to get this ready, because I got to coach in the morning. I have found that when I take the second to come home and ask, what can I do for you? And how can I make this feel better for us in this moment? Because I know this is stressful for most of us, because that's the first thing you're going to be going through as affiliate owner, opening and closing, is coming home to the significant other that's taking up the other slack for you. So coming in and be like, all right, how can I help you crush this nighttime routine really quick so that we can both get ourselves down?
Right, because if you go into a stressful situation, just to like talk a little bit of metabolism in there, right? If you go into a stressful situation like, oh my gosh, I just coached the barbell club, that went from 8 to 9, I should be right in this bedtime routine, and you walk into that energy with stress, now you're going to have a cortisol release. Now, so now your fight or flight is up. You're not you can't sleep or breathe. You gotta fight or flight, right? So you're gonna have to get a mindset, the mind will get your androgynous hormones moving in a direction that you want. So if you walk in there like, I get to help my wife with the nighttime routine now. I'm not going to miss out on the kisses and the hugs for my children. That's going to give me this feeling of, now you're going to get a little bit more sleep. And that might look like doing the dishes. But But if you attack doing the dishes with a level of, once these dishes are done, the kitchen will look good. And if the kitchen looks good, when I sit down in my open concept living room kitchen combo, I get to sort of just like be with my bride on the couch. And if I get to be with
open concept living room kitchen combo is exactly what we have too. So that's awesome.
Yeah. So like, so if you see things, I know that like a cluttered space is a cluttered mind is a cluttered space, or however you want to look at that. Helping the wife through the nighttime routine, which helps your children have a better relationship with you, gives you this smooth. I know it sounds like affiliate ownership, and we might be talking about parenthood, but they can't be separate. There has to be a combo to that. Like Jason Khalipa talks about the ANRAP like I address everything like an AMRAP. How quickly can I get all of this done if I give myself, let's say, 30 minutes for the nighttime routine? How much work can I get done in that 30 minutes? That brings us to like what? Let's say that you have no commute, 9:30 p.m. What time do your kids go to bed?
Hopefully way before that.
What's your ideal kids go to bed? What's your ideal like?
So our kids are ideally in bed at 7 and then 7:30. So the 3-year-old's in bed at 7, and then the 6-year-old's in bed at 7:30. And then that gives us from 7:30 until 8:30 or 9 to do what we need to do to get the house ready and to get ourselves ready for the next day. So it's been fun. I've gotten the girls involved a little bit, my 3 and my 6-year-old, because I have to literally, when I do my laundry, I don't fold all of my shirts, all of my pants, all of my underwear. I fold all of that, put them in piles, and then I make outfits for as many weeks as I possibly can. And I put those outfits with a sweatshirt, a pair of sweatpants, a pair of shorts, a t-shirt, a pair of underwear, and a pair of socks, all stacked on top of each other in that order in my little closet area. And I have them all stacked like that in there. So all I have to do at any moment, because as a business owner and 2 kids, life gets crazy, just grab that and put it out for the next day. And it's little things like that I've done to my rituals in the morning and the night that I learned from military time, honestly, and being a firefighter, where you just have to be so OCD that, because you have to go. You know this better than anybody, Brian. When it is time to get on the life flight, you don't have time to mess around. You better know exactly where your strap is, how you're doing this while you're grabbing this thing, and you're putting on your helmet at the same time. And every move that you make is deliberate. I heard from my buddy Switch. He used to be a helicopter pilot in the Air Force. And he said that there's no fast hands in a cockpit.
There's no fast
hands. Everything you do is very deliberate, but it's getting something done at the same time. So when I come home, instead of going into that chaos mode of get the kids to bed, make sure I get my stuff done, and I'm just in this, like you said, fight or flight state, I come home and the first thing I want to ask myself is, how can I serve my wife? How can I serve my kids? How can I serve the household and get this place back to homeostasis? Because right now it's so get it back to homeostasis.
And they're doing exactly what walking into a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old's life, if you're not a parent, it can overwhelm you.
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely.
And then we're talking life. They're just stoked for life, but this can be overwhelming if we're trying to do the point of we're just to make sure that we're on the same page. We're trying to create a morning ritual, a sleeping ritual, and an exercise ritual that you can lean on so that you can better operate as the leader in this context to the household. But that has direct correlation as the affiliate owner.
Yes. Oh my God. The whole goal is to set each one of these periods of time throughout your day up in sort of like a muscle memory type of way, where I have a basic warm up that I do every time before I work out, if I'm not working out the class. And that's to get on a bike for 5 minutes, increasing the intensity over the 5 minutes, then to get on a foam roller for 3 minutes, and then to go through our dynamic warm up, which takes 6 minutes. And then I'm going into the movements. And that is my ritual if I am not doing a class or I'm working out with other people, so that I don't have to create the energy to come up with a warm up. I don't have to create the energy that I don't have because I didn't get to sleep the night before to come up with what I'm going to do for a workout. I just get on the bike and I start pedaling like I did yesterday or the day before. And when I wake up in the morning, I'm not having to use the energy that I don't have because I didn't sleep enough to decide what kind of shirt do I want to wear today? What kind of pants do I want to wear with this shirt? I just grab the stack of clothes and I go, that one looks good. And I put those on. So it's about taking the time when you have the time to set up these systems and these rituals in your life, so that later on you could reap the rewards of having less stress and more energy, because all these daily tasks that we use too much energy for, now we're doing them just with more efficiency. Just like a thruster is so hard at the beginning because you're probably pushing too early with the arms or you're coming forward on the toes. But when you learn to move more efficiently and drive through the heels and use the hips before the arms and do things in a deliberate manner, oh, that feels a little easier. I could do more reps before I stop, and I can have more energy in the long term. So create those rituals with that OCD mentality around it.
It's funny because speaking about warm-ups, I was just doing a document yesterday. I, for the listeners and all of my affiliate members who are going to be listening to this and all my coaching stuff, I am a terrible warmer-upper. This is what I'm awful at it.
I immediately went to fix mode. I'm like, I'm going to fix you.
I am a. All right.
Okay, so you mean you are a terrible warmer-upper?
Yes, yeah.
You warm people up.
I am an excellent warmer-upper of people, and I'm getting better every day. But personally, if this was the pot and I'm the kettle, like,
yes,
I'm just like, no, you have to have stretching involved. You got to elevate the heart rate. You got to warm up the body. You've got to go through dynamic portions. You got to like get ready for vigorous exercise, they say, or rigorous at least. And I'll be like, I think I popped my back in place. We're good. I got a little ankle.
I felt my heart rate elevate.
I did 4 air squats. You want to do some exercising?
Oh my God, totally. I hear you, man. My wife is that way. Megan, I love you to death, but oh my God, she'll do the same thing, crack her neck twice and grab a barbell and start snatching. And I'm like, stop. I'm like, what are you doing? Man, but I also understand it. Because that's just you saying, I don't have the energy to go through this. I just want to get this thing over with, to be done with, and reap the rewards of it. Really, like the good hormone feelings, the good feelings after I'm done with it, So I do have a tip and a trick for you guys. If you are one of those coaches, is try to avoid, when you are going to do something like that, barbell movements. Avoid the barbell, switch it to kettlebell, switch it to dumbbells, go to more body weight style movements, because your central nervous system just isn't going to be firing in the patterns you need to be able to link this stuff together. And when you're moving independently with each arm, it's less likely you're going to injure something. So if you're going to keep doing that, Brian, cool. But hey,
No, I need to be better. But it's okay. It's okay. At least with like a lot of this conversation, I think a lot of what the conversations that the third space will be providing is really just being mindful of the obvious. And sometimes it's just really nice to hear. I know that's started for me right now to just say it out loud. Like, Brian, you suck at warming up. Like, if you're going to be good at exercising until you're 80, you need to get used to the idea that you are a middle-aged man and need to like get the gears moving and lubricated before exercising, right? Like,
I remember hearing Neil Maddox, sorry to interrupt you, but Neil Maddox said that we are leather belts. And the older you get, the more dried and cracked that leather belt gets. And the more you got to polish it and put some leather cream in it every once in a while to keep it from cracking. And it just takes a little bit longer to keep it good in the long term. So
yeah, but like, if you polish your boots, you can have those leather boots as a firefighter your whole life. You don't have to get it. You might want to resole that bad boy, but like you can have the leather boot again and again and again forever.
But if you leave it out in the sun and you don't take care of it and it cracks and it does whatever, and then you just put it on and try to run with it, it's going to break. Right? But as we get older, if we take more care of our bodies outside of the workout times, better we're going to feel,
I love that.
Man, okay, so another tip or trick for you guys. Yoga with Adriene on YouTube. You're welcome. Look up Yoga with Adriene on YouTube. I have no affiliation with her. If you see this, Adriene, we love you. You're awesome. Me and my wife do your yoga every day in the morning. Well, we haven't done it in the last week, so let's be honest here.
We're working on waking up, going to bed, and working out, guys. We'll dive in later.
But man, that like adding, she has a bunch of stuff on there that's like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes for the low back, for the shoulders, for the hips type of thing. Really good playlist. But adding in that slow, controlled movement has made my joints feel amazing. So that's a tip. If you're getting older, move a little slower in your warm-ups, but more deliberate where you feel the muscles really working instead of just squatting up and down. See if you can pull yourself down and up while you're warming up and get those muscles to move a little more. Polish those boots a little bit more before you get out there.
How often are you talking with your members about these types of what it amounts to habits? How often are you, is it daily? Is it weekly? Is it a blog post? Is this the first time we're really getting it out to the public? Like, how much are you talking habits?
Yeah, great question. And I wish I could give you a more concrete answer of like, yes, we do it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at these times, but I don't. And I find that where I put it in is during the cool downs. My goal is always to have a cool down in my workouts. If I don't have a cool down in my classes, it's kind of like, oh, shoot, I messed up. I didn't get those guys back to their homeostasis before they left. Sometimes that's just going to happen because the workout is too long, right? And you just don't have the time to be able to do that. But if I could get them in a couch stretch against the wall for 2 minutes on each side and they're not going anywhere, that's my opportunity to have, I have a stage now and I could talk to them about education, and that's nutrition, that's sleep, that's how we move, that's all of the little things that we don't do in the class. That's my time to educate and talk to them about that.
We do these things called I need to be doing more. I feel like we're doing a really good job about drip, 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 but I always want to be better and to do more. And I want my coaching staff to do it as well. Like I want them to feel so empowered in their own cool downs that it's not just me talking the habits, but maybe they are even like, on this lesson plan, my goal is to put them in a couch stretch for 2 minutes on each leg. And I'm going to talk about what time they wake up, what time they go to sleep, and to maybe journal about that so they can find out what works best for them. Right? Maybe it's that simple, but I'm more than willing to do that. But can I get Coach Lori to do that? I would love that. So as like the affiliate owner, I'm thinking, build these bomb habits of, I have a wake up routine, I have a go to sleep routine, I have a workout every day routine, 4 to 5 times a week, constantly varied, functional fitness, performed at high intensity. This is my ethos, this is my kernel. And in that, I'm also leading my people with enough education that not only are the members and the athletes of the affiliate getting that, but I'm building leaders within that affiliate who feel just as powerful to share that knowledge as anybody else, because we only get them from 1 hour. We only get them for 1 hour.
Yeah, I talk a lot about that. That's a great point, Brian, about like how you could get them to teach it to other people. I tell them that all the time, that my goal is to get them to see it from my angle. I want them to look at the people around them, not as like their fellow athletes, but almost as a coach for them, where you would look at somebody and be like, oh, they're on their toes a little bit. I'm not saying you're going to give them the cue of sit back on the heels, but you would be able to see that and know that that's not right. You'd be able to see somebody with their knees caving in and know that they should push them out. Whether you say anything or not, that's up to your affiliate owner and what you guys do at your gym and how coaches coach or members don't. But the point of that is so that when they are on vacation and working out on their own, they can feel when they're in a bad position and get themselves back in a good one. Or when they are on vacation with their family and their family's like, all right, fine, I'm going to come work out with you. They can actually work out with them and they could be like, hey, here's legitimately how you squat. And here's how you press without hurting yourself. So that they don't have this moment where they go and work out with their cousin and there's like, I don't want to do CrossFit, but my cousin made me do it. And then they get hurt. And they're like, see, I told you I shouldn't have done CrossFit. And it's like, if we had educated them a little bit more on how to do these movements properly, just a little bit, like the drip you're talking about,
I don't, what is your opinion? I can understand coaches coach and athletes don't, but I also love empowering people. So from my vantage point, if I was coaching a class and I'm conducting the orchestra, right? And I've got the general warm up, and we're doing strength, and we're going through a progression. And some athlete then takes the progression I just taught them 5 or 10 minutes earlier and says to another athlete, "Hey, drive through your hips more," or say something like, "Hey, squeeze your butt." Like, that's not them coaching. No, I educated them.
Yeah,
And
totally. I
now, and
agree.
now, and now I have an advocate for another athlete who's their training partner, right? If they're doing something egregious, now I've got to come over and re-educate. No big deal, right? This is the fun stuff. But if I have a student who has a base of knowledge and they are then applying that base of knowledge, wasn't that the whole point in the first place?
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. I agree with you all the way through that. Yeah. I think it's just important to say, like, make sure you're not running around and coaching and stuff. If the coach doesn't feel comfortable with that, and that's usually not a you problem, that's that the coach just doesn't feel comfortable usually enough with their own coaching yet to allow other people to coach around them and to be able to know, like, yeah, go for it, try. And if what you're saying isn't right, it's all good. I'll help you with that too. Versus this like feeling of, hey, don't coach because I'm the coach. That's
Right.
different.
Right.
It's you want to, like you said, empower people to feel like, all right, let's give this a shot, because everybody in here knows we're all doing it for the betterment of each other. Not that there's any type of ego attached to it. There's any type of, oh, I know better, or you're doing this wrong, and it's massaging that into the community. And that takes a long time. That's a slow drip. And that's not something that just goes like, okay, from now on, guys, you could go ahead and coach, or like you could coach, or you could coach. It's like over the course of 10 years, I have certain people in my affiliate that will go by and be like, hey, heels. And I'm like, hell yeah, that's awesome. And I
Yeah.
have other people that will look and go like, okay, maybe I would say something, but I'm not going to, not because they don't want to, but they know their place. They know how long they've been here. They know if it's appropriate for them to be saying that yet or not, because they see how serious we take it. They see that it's like nuances here or there. Maybe they're seeing something that, while they might give that cue, they want to take a step back first before they give that cue and see what the coach says. And then ask themselves, is that what I would have said? And if it's not, then that's where you grow. Where you grow is going like, oh, I didn't even see that. I would have done this thing. And then you changed that, which made everything better. Oh, now I got educated. Versus a bunch of people running around and coaching each other, but
What were
nobody's
the
speaking
what
the
were
sense.
the words you used? Because we were talking about the bone shaka. What were the words that you were using to help you learn teach stimulus? What were
Oh
those?
yeah, so if we have a sprint style workout like Fran or Diane or something like that, it's called send it. Let's send it. We're leaving nothing in the tank. Let's go. Any other workout that you would normally feel in CrossFit, Brian? The Helens, the 12-minute AMRAPs, the threshold workouts. We use that as our term for those types of stimuluses. Those are the ones where it's like, I want water, but I don't need it. I'd like some chalk, but I don't need it. And I could keep moving, but I don't want to. Those are thresholds. And then we have pacers, which are like Cindy in a way, or Murph, like, hey, don't come out too hot. You got to pace this a little bit. And then we have grind, which would be, God, what's the hero word? Holbrook, where it's got the heavy power clean in it at the end, and you're doing wall balls, and it's like 30 rounds, and you're just grinding your way through this heavyish workout. Then we have heavy day, which is the difference between grind and heavy day. Heavy day is like, we're back squatting 5 sets of 5 with rest between. I'm able to get my cardio back. But grind is, it's heavy as F, and I have cardio behind it, and I am sweating, and I am grinding my way through it. And we use those words when we are at the whiteboard discussing how we do it, how to do it, or what is it, how to do it, how hard or how heavy it should feel. That's where we put that stimulus in right there. Then any questions, or sorry, scores you should get, and then any questions. And that's like our routine for the whiteboard. And we stick those little words in there. We also have words for the loading. So we have feather light, moderate, grind, heavy day. And we use those to correlate with the stimuluses. So we could have a send it that could be a light or a feather light. Those are two different weights.
As opposed to saying like, hey, today we're gonna do medium to heavy 185. You say, so because now I've got a gradient. Maybe your 225 is my 185. Maybe it's vice versa, right? So when you're writing your programming, you're using this vernacular instead of assigned weights, because if it takes you 20 minutes to do Fran, It's awesome. You did 45 reps of thrusters and pull-ups, but you missed the short and sharp.
Miss the stimulus.
Yeah.
You miss the metabolic pathway that we're going after.
Right.
We're testing this metabolic pathway. We're trying to see how good are you at burning this fuel source or keeping these muscles moving at this pace, at this weight, which requires a certain type of fuel. And then you're going to switch to another type of fuel if you keep going longer or you go heavier, and you're going to switch to another. And while we're using all of those fuels at all times, and it's just kind of this kind of molding of back and forth between them, what we're looking for, what I'm looking for, what I'm testing is the flexibility to go between those, the metabolic flexibility. So,
but coach, if I don't know what number to use, I have a habit of going RX. How would I know? How am I going to write it on my sugar wads? How am I what do you do there? What do you do there? Because this is something I intimately want to do. I want to meet stimulus. I don't really care about your weight number. So
let me answer this as quickly and as simply as possible. And I don't know if I can, but we'll try. I see we got 9.5 minutes left.
Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. But this is we're talking habits. We're talking habits, an exercise habit. And the exercise habit
this is a culture and a coaching issue. So what we're looking for as coaches is the speed in which the athlete is moving. And does that correlate to the stimulus you're looking for? So when you watch somebody do thrusters in Fran, there's a speed to that. Don't let that speed slow down. And that weight just dictates that speed, or the speed dictates the weight that's on the bar. So there could be a beginner athlete that's doing air squats that's slower than that. Then Noah Olson can do Fran with 95 pounds. They can't even squat that fast, right? So in that scenario, I might even bring down the repetitions for that person to finish in the right amount of time for 21 reps of an air squat. Versus if I have a heavy Fran, for example, and now I'm going a little bit heavier, instead of that athlete moving like this, I should see that athlete moving like this. Now, if we move that to 185 and we're going to a grind weight, I should see every athlete moving like this. And the speed at which the athlete is moving, that's your weight. And that will change every day. For me, even, I will move 225 on Diane a lot faster some days than I will on other days. And some days it's important for me to, as a coach, to watch those people and just watch the speed at which they're moving. Once they start to slow down on the weight. Or once they start to slow down, awesome, keep going up, because that's what we want, is a slower speed, right? Because that means a heavier load. So use that to help you help the people find. And if you're still struggling with people, then here's what you do. You put in testers right before the workout starts, where you have 5 thrusters and 3 bar facing burpees. And the last 3 people to finish, you're going to go over to them and you're going to adjust their weights. And you're going to tell them to go down because they were the last 3 people to finish.
I just did this with wall balls yesterday. This stuff works. Yep, we just did this with wall balls yesterday. We had a tester of 10. It was heavy wall balls. So girls got 20 and boys got 30s. And you're welcome. And awesome. We did a tester of 10, and we did that exact thing. Oh, you're going to get a box. Oh, you're actually not going to go 14. We're going to go to 10 because maybe you've been using an 8 and things of this nature. But we're just trying to build habits for the coaching staff so that you are waking up in the morning and you're ready for the day. And you don't have to start with work. You can start with listening to the birds chirp. You're getting your workout in a day, because if you, the affiliate owner or the coach, maybe you're the head coach, maybe you're just passionate and you're like on staff. If your physique, for lack of a better term, is what we're selling, if you're not walking the walk, then how are you supposed to talk the talk?
Man, I think that should be the next week. We should talk about that demonstration. So there's 6 criteria that make an effective coach: seeing and correcting, presence and attitude, group management, demonstration. So your ability to see and correct, great, that's awesome. Your ability to have presence and attitude, that's awesome. But your ability to demonstrate, not movement, but the life of a CrossFitter.
Right.
That's what I want to see from a coach. Great, you can move okay. That's even, honestly, I would rather have a coach that can't move well because of whatever issue, but they are working their ass off on trying to move well. So they are learning so much while they are changing their own bodies that they get to apply to other people. That's where the magic comes in. When you go, I have a problem that needs to be fixed, so that you go out and find somebody to teach you how to fix that problem, so that you can, like you were saying earlier, Brian, take it to other people and teach them how to do it in the future, which is a coach. So if you are not doing the things that you are asking your members to do in that moment, you are not a coach.
Yeah, you're the ability for the coach to say, hey, I want us to focus on the sleep, the workout, and the going to bed on time, or the waking up, the working out, and going to bed on time. This is as much about you experimenting with your own health and well-being as much as it is you advocating. I mean, I have my routine. It could be better. It looks like Wes has really dialed into this section of your life, and then for a 3-year-old and a 6-year-old, this is where we have to focus. Maybe when suddenly school sports starts, we're going to focus differently. But we can always adapt. But the point of the entire conversation is that we just want you guys to know that you're stewarding this thing, or girls, you're stewarding this thing. And by walking the walk and being mindful, it will help you be less stressed. It'll just be easier by confronting the things that are stressing you the F out, man.
Yeah, man. Okay, so let's put a bow on this thing, give them some actionable things to do going forward. So here is what I did. So, like, one of the things I love to do is just give experience, not advice. I'm not somebody that likes to tell people what to do if I haven't done it before myself. And so this is what I do in order to make my mornings and my nights and my afternoons the best that I can. So in the mornings, I already told you guys I have all of my clothes laid out for the next day. That's the first thing. I go through the night before exactly every single thing that I have to do the next day. And then I ask myself a couple questions within each one of those things. What is going to throw me off in that thing? So, like, is there something that I'm going into a meeting I'm not going to like or whatever, and there's something to throw me off on there? How am I going to surprise myself in that meeting or in that thing so I don't get thrown off? And then if I do get thrown off, what am I going to do to get myself back on track? And so I'm setting up basically like defense mechanisms throughout the day to not allow myself to get off track too far, because we put so much energy into other people, you guys, as affiliate owners, and not enough into ourselves, that we just need those moments in time in the morning, in the afternoon, the night, to be able to put that to ourselves. So when you wake up in the morning, do not grab your phone and do any type of work. The first thing I do when I wake up in the morning is I ask myself, what is going to make today awesome? What is going to ruin today? And what am I going to do if today gets ruined? Then I go into all of the things I have to do, which I've already set up the night before, and I already have the plans of if that stuff happens. But at first, I have to ask myself, what's going to ruin today? How am I going to make today great? And then if it gets messed up, how am I going to get back on track? How do you think I get back on track, Brian?
You work out.
Bam! I do exercise. And I talked about this morning with my classes. Normalize exercise at random times. Normalize exercise at random times. So normalize, I don't feel good. I'm going to stand up and go over and do.
He did a burpee, guys.
2 freaking burpees. Because it is getting my body through a range of motion. It's getting blood flowing. And it's giving myself energy. Versus, I'm going to go to Starbucks and I'm going to get this thing, Frappuccino, whatever, or I'm going to go over there and get that. Normalize exercise to help you feel better throughout the day. And then if you already have a noon class that you go to or an afternoon class you go to, well, you know that that's coming for you. That reward's going to be there. Hang in. It's going to be there. You're going to feel good in a second. But if you can't hang in there, all good. Do a couple burpees. And then at night, the same thing in the morning. Do not look at emails. Do not look at anything. Look at what you got to do the next day. Write it all down, timelines, all that stuff. What are you going to do to not let people throw you off? And if it does, what's going to happen? And then put it away. Turn around, look at your significant other, take a deep breath.
What do you need me to do, hon?
And then go on and rock and roll. You got it.
I think that this was an excellent first videoing of the third. We've got artwork on the way, guys. We've got YouTube channels that will be created. We've got plans to do good by everyone. and goodbye ourselves. This is as much rewarding to me and Wes as anything that we might be putting out into the universe to you. So we hope you enjoy it. This is merely just the beginning, and thank you.
Welcome to the third space.
Woo! Holy heck, we did it. All right. I'm gonna hang up here and then I'm gonna call you right back.
Okay.
Hi. How do I do this?